I need you guys to let me know if you can hear me. If you guys can hear me, let me know.
Yeah. There's a few having problems joining inviting her.
All right. All right, good. I also need somebody to go on the YouTube live stream. Let me know how the sound is coming across.
I might be working as a few come in.
Gotcha. If you're on the YouTube, let me know how the sound is coming across. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm gonna share the link right now. How do I find this link? You guys gonna have to bear with me because my very first time doing a live stream. So just bear with me real quick. Let's see here. How do I get this link? Okay. Analytics, stream health, no. Okay, I think I found it. I think I found the link. All right. My mic sounds low, you saying? You could barely hear me on the YouTube side?
You're sorry, bro.
I think somebody wrote in the Telegram chat that my mic sound low on the YouTube side. Let's see here. That's my YouTube side. My mic is quite low. Okay, give me a sec. I think I know what's going on. Give me 1 sec, guys. Did anything change on the YouTube side, or is it still extremely low?
All good. Perfect now.
I sound better? Okay, all right, okay, because I tried to use two mics. Yeah. So, okay, guys, if you guys tuning in, I recommend that you guys jump on the Telegram side. So if you can hear me on the YouTube side, jump into the Telegram so you can like get a better service, because I don't know how to deal with the mic when it comes to the YouTube. So just bear with me with this one. All right.
And members have said sounds good on YouTube.
We sound good on YouTube now? All right, perfect. Okay, got it. All right. Okay, so we'll just wait for a couple of members. We'll wait until like we get like 20 plus people here. I see more people are joining the Telegram. So go ahead and share the info. And when we get a larger audience, we'll get started with this. Sounds good. Nice. Oi. Can you hear everybody else on YouTube?
I just ate 3 tacos in record time. Oh God, that's amazing.
Okay, we got 9 participants. Okay, let me see. 3 viewers. All right, so who am I gonna be talking to today? Like who is gonna be the leader here when it comes to the form of fortune?
It's not really a leader. It'll be myself talking about fortune hunters in a whole.
Okay.
Nelson with the numbers, he does all the number crunching, and Dark Side with like visuals and stuff like that. And if Zamba's got what to say as well, but mainly this does all. I'm not sure who else is in. I think that's it from the team. I think Lucio's just had to shoot off somewhere.
Okay. All right. So what? It's like a good 5 of you guys right now. That's actually working on this project.
There's 8 of us in total.
8. Okay.
The Defi eco team, most of them are part torture hunters, if not all.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? Let's get started. All right. So we already got this thing recording. The recording mode is on. So if anybody is tuning in, you can go ahead and just watch the playback. Right now, we're doing a live stream. I'm with the team of the Form of Fortune, and we're about to talk about the Form of Fortune right now. I want to start off by passing this to Crypto Craig. Just introduce yourself. Let people know what's your background in the DeFi space and what your outlook for this project is going to be.
Yeah, so my name's Crypto Craig. I was an influencer, still am an influencer. Did videos for crypto, and when I was doing videos back then, I was quite timid or new to YouTube. But was getting sick of rug devs, basically rugging projects after project after project. It was getting very scary to promote anything. You were worried about what anything you actually put on a video. Because as an influencer, everyone always comes back to you and tries to attack you because you basically promoted that project. And I didn't read code or anything at that time, so I didn't know which were a good project, which weren't a good project. So then I basically was speaking to George, and they've always pushed me and said I could do better than what I'm doing, and if I've got anything, just try it. And I said, no, there's no way I can try to become a dev. And he said, no, try it. And if you get stuck, come see me. So anyway, I'd get go watching videos after videos, doing some research and everything. And it took me about a month and a half to just watch these videos, and then I started reading code, and he gave me a code to read. I read the code, and he said, yeah, right, now write the code. That was totally different. That was mind-blowing. And I struggled, and George helped, and then we decided to see if we could build a future for an ecosystem which basically used projects that didn't last so long and make an external income that would help sustain the project. Rather than just letting the first one in benefits and the last one in doesn't get anything. So that's where we brought Cake of Fortune, and Cake of Fortune's been going for 6.5 months. We started off with $8,500 invested, and after 6.5 months, there's $6,000 left in the contract, which is a big boast. There's not many projects that can only be $2,000 less than invested 6.5 months after the project started. We, in total, with the interest occurred from Cake of Fortune, there's been over 1,000 cake invested into Cake of Fortune. We then decided that we needed to build an ecosystem, but with a difference. So we built Elk of Fortune. The reason we did Elk Token was because it's a bridging network. It's one of the cheapest in the whole of DeFi. And bridge any network to any token to any network, you just basically swap it to Elk. So it's a native token to that chain, and then you swap it to BNB chain, to Pancake, to AVAX or Chronos. I think there's like 26 chains in total, and they're always updating each and every week with new chains going on. And it just had its own uniqueness in a token, rather than just doing the usual BUSD, BNB, Matic or anything like that. I wanted to keep something on the Binance Smart Chain so I could actually keep an eye on all the projects that I'm in. So Cake of Fortune, I could just switch from one to the other to make sure it's all running smoothly and everything. And we implemented the lottery feature and the highest depositor competitions. And then the contract did start slowing down, but we was building up faster with the reduced Ponzonomics than the Cake of Fortune. So we decided that we'd lower the minimum investment to 180 ALK, which before it was 300 ALK, which was roughly about $80 at the time. I think it's only about $70 now, because price of the token has dropped. Because it does have uniqueness in the website. You can mint your own tokens in the website as well. So while you're waiting to incur enough ALK, 180 ALK, you can put them in a pool and earn extra interest there to then decide that if you want to deposit them back in or sell them, it's entirely your choice. And then we got to the point of what do we do next? And basically after Alka Fortune, I wanted to build something different. So I went to George, and at the time the crop shield farmer had just ended. And I said, look George, I want to put some stuff down on paper when you go through it and let me know if it's okay, and I think, because with it being his project. So I put numbers down, I think, and told him what I wanted to do different about the Farmer Fortune than Crop Shield Farmer. And he came back to me and says, look, this could actually work. It really could work. But let's put it more down on paper, let's implement it a little bit. So I went off another week later, got everything down, jotted on paper, and sent it over by a notepad to George's Telegram, and started a voice call with him, and went over everything. So when we went over everything, and I said, look, I want to remove the compound feature. To me, it seems that's the problem within farms. Because I know it benefits miners, but I don't think it benefits farms. So George went over it and he goes, yeah, it does, it kills farms. The compound feature in a farm actually kills farms for the lower investors, the smaller investors. So the smaller investors are always going to lose no matter what in a farm that's got a compound feature.
Yeah.
I think you're right, we should remove it. So removed it, did DUI and everything, then started all the testing. I was like, I need to test to make sure whales couldn't basically drain the contract before I've earned enough interest to actually make it into reduced Ponzi, possible 0% Ponzi. And he says, yeah, so we did that, a month and a half, we were testing it, and we were doing wallet after wallet after wallet after wallet, maximum deposits, and compounding it, basically withdrawing it and then redepositing back into contract, which we class as compound, but it's the only reason we've done that is so that it benefits the contract, because every time there's a new deposit, it generates us the money to go into the pools that will enable us to get the interest needed to pay everyone back for the duration of the contract. If we kept the compound button in, there's no way we could possibly do that, not even at 0.5% a day, which is impossible. There's no contract that could do that with the compound feature on a farm, because there's only a set number of days, whereas a miner, you have the duration of the contract that's lasts. So you've got forever to last to get that money back, and to get it to a 0% if need be. But we only originally started to make it as a reduced Ponzi. We didn't want to make it as a 0% Ponzi. We didn't think it was possible until we're at now. And at this point, we're at the point of Cake Fortune is over 50% reduction, and Alka Fortune is nearly 70% reduction in Ponzonomics. So we said, why stop now? We can go further, and that's where we built the Farmer Fortune, and we did that to benefit every single investor, because we're sick of devs that rug, or devs that do 50, 60%, well, 40, 50% daily ROI, and nobody ROIs. Nobody will ever ROI at that price. So that's where we started. We're an ecosystem for the community. We're built for the community. The people that own the projects are the community. And everyone that is invested, we count as family. We don't cast them as investments. We cast them as family. So they have a way of, if they think someone could implement into a contract on the next project that would make it better, we listen and we implement them. And that's what we did with Farm Fortune.
Okay.
We went over that 4 times in total. At the original, we only had 2 plans. Then we made it to 3 plans. Then it was locked for the whole duration of the contract, so it could be locked for 200 days, your money. And then we had messages, so we do trust, but we may need not money, which is understandable. I understood them. I said, right, we'll do it as a 10-day lock and a 12-day cut-off time. But then some were still a bit iffy, and I said, right, fair enough. The lowest I can do to do it so that it benefits every investor is 5 days, because anything less than 5 days accountable, so you can only account minimum of 5 days. Anything less would be more in gas fees for anyone that's putting the minimum amount in. And I'm not one for just going for whales. I think about the smaller investors, because I've been there. I've been that smaller investor.
Yeah.
And most of the time, I always lost out because I'm that smaller investor. I wanted something that would benefit the smaller investors as well as the bigger investors. So we had to do that whale test and see if it would do that.
I got you.
So that's what we were all about.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's a good start, man. Yeah. In fact, you covered a lot of things that I was actually wanting to ask you. But let's go into this real quick, though, right? So you have Cake of Fortune, Elk of Fortune, Form of Fortune. Is it safe to say that it's an ecosystem, or all these projects an isolated project?
Yeah, can I take that one, Craig?
Yeah.
So, and yeah, we have Cake of Fortune, Elk of Fortune, and now the Farm of Fortune, and there is a whole ecosystem that is being gradually built. For this year, we don't plan on adding anything else, but over next year, we'll be adding another project to the ecosystem. But the thing is, people will usually think, okay, this is a team that builds project after project, hunting for fees, dev fees, because there are actually a lot of teams that do that. Yeah, we also have the USDT cash flow, and the fees, part of the fees from the Farm of Fortune will feed into all those 3 projects and BUSD machine as well. The thing is, those projects are not forgotten, and they are not dead, and they will not die, because each new project will strengthen the project that came before. We will just give them more capital, more funds to grow the individual pools for those projects in order to reduce the Ponzinomics and break out of the Ponzinomics in those projects. The Farm of Fortune is the first where the aim is to actually be a 0% Ponzi. And that's what we are focusing, and that's what we are aiming, and that's the only thing that we want for this year, is to ensure that coming January, we can already say the objective to become 0% Ponzi in 200 days will be 100% met. At this moment, we can't say the Farm of Fortune is 0% Ponzi, because we need 200 days before we can actually say it. But coming January, Greg is going to demonstrate, look, this is how much we've gone so far, and this is how much we have to go until we've met the 200 days. And when we get to the 200 days, this will be, no doubt, 0% Ponzi. And that's what we want to do until January, and that's our focus. And the minor parts, the Cake of Fortune, the Elk of Fortune, and USDT cash flow were essential in developing the formula to build this 0% Ponzi farm. Though that was, and those are the Fortune 100 babies, and will never be forgotten.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds great. So it looks like the vision for the team is to create an ROI that's basically that has no Ponzonomics inside of it, right? So if you guys don't mind, like, can you elaborate on what kind of mechanics that you guys have that's in the background that's allowing for this Ponzi-less setup?
Yeah, basically we use circles for to generate the income. I literally sit there all day, every day, watching interest rates, which is the highest, which is not the highest, which is going lower. If one pool that we're in is low, I swap it out into a different pool that makes it a higher interest, and that's where that basically generates the income. Outside of this, I've used my own personal money into stable funds so it doesn't risk the money of the projects, and all interest from my personal money will go into the project, but I will be obviously taking my own personal money back out of stable fund when needed. But we couldn't risk the funds from any project in stable fund because it's our money as investors, and it's a high risk. It is high risk. Nobody's seen bots. The scripts for bots. There's no actual real bot. It's a script, and these scripts work, act like a bot, and do trades for you and do this, that, and the other. But to be able to see them scripts it can put funds at risk. So I can understand why they don't want to show these bots. So that's why I've risked my own money, and then at least it's not coming out of the projects, and it'll be only me that loses out. So there's many different ways we're generating income. The tokenomics of everything, the cake of fortune, the tokenomics was good, but not the greatest. And that's where we built Alpha Fortune with a better one.
Yeah.
And once we built the better one, we then decided we wanted to build something even better. But if we generated 50% of the TVL in the actual farm, we could actually build this to a 0%. But legalities-wise, we're not allowed to officially say this until it actually happens. The funds can be brought out of the pools, they can be pulled out of anywhere, whenever needed. So there's no risk to the funds. So whatever goes into the pools will come out at the exact same amount, plus the interest what I can harvest each and every day and compound to make the 2.7% each and every day that I can occur. When we get to that 2.7%, it will calculate it out to make it even. But there'll also be extra, which will be for all investors and for only investors that are in the project. So we'll be able to do giveaways of BNB to each and every one that's actually brought their funds to the project and basically listened and trusted us as a way, because really it's not our funds, it's you as investors' funds that's incurred that extra interest. So it's only right it should go back to you as investors. Because if we left it all into the contract, which we will be for the first 200 days, we want to get past the first 200 days, and then after the 200 days, we can then hold some back and say, look, this is how much has occurred, this is how much interest it is, this is how much is needed to go into the contract to cover every single thing. So this is the amount we can actually give away to you, and do several giveaways. But you have to be invested in the project because it is your funds. So that's where we're looking at what the tokenomics of everything is and where we're going in the future. So we are planning on this being a full run plus extra runs for however long we can actually do it, because there's only us that can stop it. So we'd have to remove the invest, although people could still go through the contract to invest. There's nothing we could stop to do that. But we don't plan on stopping it anytime soon.
Okay. So, all right. So, if you guys don't mind explaining, like, let's say this is a brand new investor, right? That's not too experienced in the DeFi space. What would that investor experience be if they were to go through these pools? So I see you got plan 1, there's a plan 2, and there's a plan 3. So if you guys don't mind breaking down, what would the step-by-step be in terms of investing into these pools, and when can they expect to actually make an ROI? And how flexible is the DApp?
Yeah, so the thing is when the farm was initially designed, it was designed to walk up your whole amount that you deposited for the whole duration of the plan. So if you go for the 90-day plan, you would only take out your money plus the interest at the end of the 90 days. But we wanted to do something better and more trustful for the people that invest. So we lowered the days, the duration of the plan remains the same, 90 days, 150 days, and 200 days, but you take your money, your interests out every 5 days. There's a minimum of 5 days between each claim. So you are actually getting your money back every 5 days during for the duration of the plan, doing that every 5 days for the duration of the plan. If you do that on plan 1, 2% per day, you should ROI in 55 days. You should get your entire deposit back in 55 days and still have 145 days left to profit.
Wow.
What we try to incentivize people and what I try to show people in my medium Marco and in the simulator that I created is that people can actually earn more if they reinvest a part of their earnings instead of just claiming for the entire duration of the plan. They choose 90 days or 200 days. If you go to the 90 days or the 150 days, should take you between 65 and 70 days to get your ROI back. But I'm only focusing on plan 200 days because people can get their ROI in 55 days and start building their accumulated deposit in the platform, in the project, to earn more every week. People don't have to compound to infinity, reinvest to infinity, and people don't have to continuously putting everything that they earn back into the program. That's not what this is designed for. This is designed for people to take profits, because if they are invested in something, they should and must take something out, not be greedy and compounding themselves, growing their bags to a point where it simply will not happen and the project will eventually die or anything else, and they are left with nothing. So we want people to take out, we want people to understand that they must claim, and we want people to understand that they can earn more if they put some part back in. It's about balance, and people should look for that balance that they are comfortable in putting back in and reinvesting and keeping for themselves along the way.
Yeah. Okay. So if I understand correctly, right? That means, let's say hypothetically, I would invest into plan 1. I can expect 2% a day. I will have the ability to take profit every 5 days on the interest earned. And when the plan actually closes out, I should be able to take out my initial.
No, you deposit. Imagine you deposit one BNB and you never reinvest anything else. You start when you deposit. You start a 200-day count, and you claim every 5 days. At the end of 200 days, you have 400% minus tax, 3% tax on claims. So that means that one BNB in 200 days will earn you a total of 3.88 BNB. That includes your initial. So it's 288% profit.
Okay. So by the time I get to the expiration date, I would have been ROI'd. Okay, that makes sense. Man, yeah, to me, I think that sounds...
You actually reach ROI if you claim every 5 days and don't reinvest anything else. And during those 55 days, you actually reach ROI in 55 days, give or take, depending if you follow the timings correctly. It's not precise for everyone because you have 5 days minimum between each claim and 7 days max reward accumulation. So you need to take action between the day 5 and the day 7. If you don't take action before the end of the 7th day, your rewards will stop accumulate. So if you claim only on the 8th or the 10th day, you will still only receive 7 days worth of rewards. And if you continue to do this along the duration of the plan, you will reach the 200 days with less than than you should have because you didn't follow the timings correctly.
Okay, so that means the project, it actually requires you to interact with the DApp, or you could potentially lose.
You can always potentially lose if you're not responsible about your investments.
Yeah.
There's the timings, there are set, which is 5 days and 7 days.
Yeah.
And if you jump in today we're on the 12th of October, so that means that you can only claim on the 17th of October. You can't claim before that. And at the most, you can claim up to the 19th of October. If you don't claim by the 19th of October, when you go to claim, you will only receive the equivalent of 7 days of rewards, no more. So you need to take action and you need to be responsible for keeping up with your own timings. If you do this, if you are responsible for your investment and responsible to keep your own timings, you will reach the 200 days with 3.88 BNB in case you invested 1 BNB.
Nice. All right, so let's move on to like marketing. So like, do you guys have any plans for marketing? Because like I've been invested in like a multitude of the projects in the past, and I think you guys write like really good code. I think the projects that you guys push forward is actually great projects, right? So the only thing I would say would be missing is just like a larger audience, more people to get engaged. What's the plan on getting people engaged and like just to spread awareness to these projects?
Yeah, so today we approached Moonarch, and if you go into Moonarch app, you'll see that we are pinned in the promoted project now. So that was all paid straight up front within the marketing wallet. We are hard at it on Twitter. There's several people posting tweets about us. I was on TikTok, but it turns out you're not allowed to do crypto on TikTok no more, which I didn't know. So they've changed that. And on Instagram, Snapchat, all to do with crypto projects. Also with YouTube, we've got many YouTubers involved. We've also got quite a few AMAs lined up with different projects, and one that hasn't been confirmed yet, so I can't say much about, but it has quite a lot of people in there, so I'm not going to say much because you'll easily get onto it. So yeah, there's many things that we've got planned for the future. We are going to be doing banner ads that are going up on places, so I'm going to be pricing up for, I'm not sure about KuCoin because there's a lot of scam stuff on KuCoin, so probably attempt to go to Binance and stuff like that, but I know it's going to be expensive, so I might have to dip into my own pocket again about that. But yeah, the marketing is going to be good, but like I say, people are going to be scared with everything what's going on at the moment. There's a hell of a lot of rugs going off.
Yeah.
So we understand, and that's why we say we're not going to force anyone to invest. Please get to know us, get to know what we're about first. Understand why we became fortune hunters, and we wanted everyone to make a passive income. We want DeFi. DeFi was originally made to be fun and to earn a passive income. It wasn't ever made to be get rich tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that's what these devs are doing now, and that's why you're getting projects that are 10, 20, 50% daily. And people see that and think, yeah, I can get rich tomorrow. It never happens. It's a lie. It's a lie in crypto.
Yeah.
You should always play stuff where you think for the long term rather than the short term.
Yeah.
If you are getting in crypto and you think I can make $100 today into $500 tomorrow, whoever has told you that is lying. It will never ever happen. If they tell you it's going to happen in a month, they're lying. It's never going to happen.
Yeah.
Maybe in a year, yeah, fair enough. Things take time. Everything takes time. You put something in an oven, it will take time to cook. And that's the exact same thing with crypto.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just wanted to add about the marketing part, that the best marketing that we can have is results and word of mouth.
Yeah.
And yeah, we can talk to influencers and YouTubers and see about having promotional videos done, but we prefer to do it this way, the way we've done with you. We want to do AMAs. We want people to hear us answer the question, to see more about how we are and learn more about how we operate and work and how the projects that we are building work, then for me that's more valuable than just having a video promoting this project and saying, hey, you can earn I don't know how much money in here. This is more real for me. That's why we prefer AMAs.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what we I think we align a lot when it comes to this DeFi thing. I've always been a person that's like pushing for the smaller investors, right? And you guys took the approach of trying to eliminate Ponzi's, and I think they both go hand in hand. So I've seen this in the past with you guys. Like, you guys are a highly recommended team. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm even really doing this AMA with you guys, because like I really like the stuff that you guys have pushed forward in the past. So to me, the setup that you guys got, if you're really aiming for a Ponzi list concept, I really think that's very important. It's good to educate people, because a lot of people, I know a lot of investors, they prefer to take the larger risk. From what I've seen, they'd rather take the risk and just play that rat race to try to ROI before the next person. But I think the approach that you guys are taking is slow and steady. But to me, I always consider the projects that you guys push out as a high IQ project. I consider you guys like a high IQ team based on the approach that you guys are taking. So it's best to eliminate the risk. The reputation speaks for itself. You guys got countless projects that's underneath your belt. No rug pull. You guys interact with the community pretty well. So I don't think you guys should have that much of an issue. So what I'm going to do right now is that if you guys are in the chat, if anybody have any questions in the chat, go ahead and type it in the Telegram chat. And then we're going to, if you're okay with opening your mic, go ahead and open up your mic to speak your piece. If you're shy, just go ahead and leave your question in the chat for now. And while that's going on, I'm going to let Crypto Craig finish off with any additional statements that he may have.
Yeah, no worries. Just to reiterate on everything we're doing with the ecosystem, people are confused with the cake miner and everything, because we say when it gets to 0% Ponzi, it's going to be more like a yield farm. Except for the only thing is, on a yield farm, you can withdraw your initial. The miners, you can't. Everything what you put into the contract is locked, and you're earning interest off that investment. So when you put the money into the investment and we earn more interest each and every week than what's actually been withdrawn, it technically becomes like a yield farm. So you're actually going to be earning that 3% daily, no matter what. It technically comes to a static, but not so much a static, because it'll continuously keep growing. So as the interest is increasing each and every week, which is going to basically outcast how much is being withdrawn, it's going to increase the percentage you get in a daily. So instead of it being 3%, it can go anything up to 4%.
Yeah. So
how much is daily percentage? Which one?
Yeah. Okay. So
I'll let you read out questions.
Yeah. So I see. So OX Hamid, he has a question over here. He said, question outside of pools, have you looked at other revenue streams, percentage going to other projects and bots? I think you guys kind of touched on that, but just to, if you want to reiterate, I believe you guys mentioned that you have your own personal investments that's in the stable fund, right? I think you guys mentioned that. And though that you're not going to be taking any income directly from this project, you are kind of playing like your own kind of insurance in the background. I don't know if you want to elaborate on that detail.
Yeah, so that was my own personal savings account that I put into stable fund, and any interest that occurs from stable fund, so it's like 1.5% daily off of the interest there, will be going into Farm of Fortune. And the only thing that I keep is the $5,000 that I put in. So the other part of the question with regard to bots and stuff, the bots, it's a very scary thing, because there's no to say bots are real. And the bots that you do find on these other groups, and they say you 2% a day, and then you join them, and it costs you like $1,000 to join, and you're only earning like 0.5% a day. Now that's risking funds of the investors, and we can't do that. We will be doing voting once we get to a comfortable amount of percentage a day, so that we know that that 2% can be paid out every 5 days, 10 days to every single investor. We're basing it on 2%, everyone joins plan 1, so that's what we based it on. So if we get to that point of it being 2% a day, we can then put a vote to the community and say, look, would you like to take some funds out of these easy, let's say, safe plays, and put into a little bit more of a high risk, like stable fund? Would you like a bit more funds in stable fund, knowing that it's going to be the contracts funds put into there? Then that's down to the community, and we will do that, but we have to get to that comfortable position first, because that's our aim. Our aim is to get this to go to 200 days. Now, until we get to that comfortable position, we can't guarantee it will get there, and that's what we're aiming for. So we can't put things as a high risk at this precise minute.
Okay. Sounds good, man. Yeah, that sounds good. I mean, hey, with it set up already, you guys are already aiming for it to be a self-sustaining concept anyway. So we'll have to see how it plays out. Hopefully, you won't have to go to the stable fund to actually get more assets. But I do think right now the theme is like, how like the DeFi space, it goes into cycles. We had our miner cycle, and I think right now is the cycle for bots. And I think people are responding to bots in a more healthier way. So even if you have a project that's out that's extremely sustainable on its own, it might just ease the mind of investors just to know, like, okay, this is part of the updated version of DeFi that has bots that's implemented into it. But that's just a thought. You guys don't have to go down that path. I like the originality with what you guys are doing, and honestly, this might be one of the more sustainable yield farms, right? Because me personally, I had bad experience with yield farms, and I usually have a stay away from yield farm mentality. But the way you guys got this thing set up, man, if it's truly something that's like close to no Ponzi, I don't see why not to give a chance with this project. At this moment, do we have any other questions in the chat?
Yeah, Shrine, the truth is farms have a really bad reputation, and this is kind of Craig's thing. He takes miners where people, all miners are suck, all miners rug, all miners only the first person wins, and he builds a miner where everyone is taking some, everyone is close to winning. And farms, only the guy that gets in first and pulls out before the end of the first win, the shortest one wins, and the other ones get stuck. And here Craig builds a farm where that does not happen, where if we manage to get this, and we can't again say this is 0% Ponzi until the end of the 200 days, but this is going to be a breakout of Ponzi, which is a dream for everyone, and we'll come on around crypto, and there has to be something more than just the person that gets in first and gets in with the most gets away, and all the others are left dry and hanging. Yeah. And this is what Fortune Hunter is about, and what we aim to build.
Yeah. Okay, so we have another question. This looks like a really good question right here. So this is the from Psyche. I hope I'm not butchering your name, but he writes, team comment on the project is critical, and it takes time to develop big things. Crypto moves fast, and investors are impatient all the time, which is very true. Does the former Fortune have a plan for investors to survive the long term? How big is this plan, and how are you focused on the current market, or focus on building and developing or acquiring customers and users, or partnerships? I think partnerships is very paramount too. I'll let you guys answer that.
Yeah, so we are looking into partnerships, but not at this precise moment. Our precise moment at the moment is concentrating on making sure we can get to that 2% a day. That is the main thing. We need to make sure you can get that full 200 days, which is 400% ROI, or even if it's just a 90-day plan, which is 135% plan, so you're gaining 35% interest. We need to make sure that is the most imperative thing. Partnerships will come over time, and over when people start to realize what Fortune Hunters is about, we don't have to start searching for partnerships. The partnerships will come to us. And that's what we're about. We are looking for the long term, but we look for the long term as you as investors, not for what can come from somebody else. We need that stability within the projects before looking further down the line. So Cake of Fortune and Alka Fortune, yes, they were close together, but it took 5 months after Alka Fortune to go through everything on the Farm of Fortune. So it wasn't a thought about last week and brought out this week. It's been going for 5 months, and I can even send the messages where I'm going over with George to anyone that wants to see. It's not been like today or tomorrow, it's been a long time. So yeah, the plan is big. We have big plans for the future. We don't want to give too much away right this instant because we're not planning on anything before Christmas. We're getting Christmas out of the way. At least then we know the 100 days is up. We can then show everyone what is exactly left in the interest, what is left to pay out to every single investor, and how much interest will be left after every investor has been paid. And that will go directly into the contract so that everyone's paid. And we can then go for the full 100 days. And then we basically got 100 days of peace of mind where we can start looking for what's next. What else can we build that has been rugged, that has been built in a way that it's not been sustainable when it could be sustainable? Because using your initiative, you can change a lot of things in DeFi space. Yeah. DeFi will be fun again, and that's what we hope to bring.
For sure. So we got a quick question. I don't know if it's like a spoiler or not. So when BUSD or USDC stable version of these farms?
Not for a good 5 to 6 months time. Like we said before, until the end of this year, we're only focusing on getting the farm to be 100% free of Ponzi, and that's all we have in mind. We already have ideas for what's next in the ecosystem. They won't come until the next year, and we're not exactly talking about the January, February of the next year, but more in the middle part of the next year, because we wanted, like Craig said, the farm was thought out for a long time. It's not something that we just remember today. So we already have ideas of what we want to build up next and what we want to do, but those are way ahead in the future, because right now the focus is getting this farm to really become free of Ponzi, because that's the best marketing we can have. We show we can build something that where others failed, where people lost a lot of money, we will build something where people will not lose money. We all will win something. Not win much, because sometimes some people complain about the Cake of Fortune, Alpha Fortune, USDT cash flow they're taking are very low, but they are earning. They're not out of the game, and those projects are still growing and developing. Yeah. So they're not out of the game, and that's what we are doing. We are taking projects where everyone else failed, and we are making them work for everyone, not just for the lucky few that got in ahead of the game.
Yeah. Well said, man. Now, for sure, if you guys look at the Elk of Fortune on your spare time, it still has funds in there. All right. So whatever it is that these guys did when it comes to the Elk of Fortune is definitely it's working its piece. You know, so if Form of Fortune is more sustainable than that, I look forward to seeing it, and I think for sure it's gonna last the 200 days. Is Elko Fortune older than the 200 days?
It's 5 months old, so
Yeah.
yeah, I think so. Yeah. You just get the calculator up. Give me 1 second.
Nice.
No, it's 150 days old.
Okay. Hey, 150 days old, but we still got 15K in the contract. And this is for something that did not receive that much of traction. All right. So this is why we're doing this AMA. We're trying to spread awareness so you guys can pay attention to smart investment strategies that exist in the DeFi space. All right. Sometimes it's not going to be the most mainstream thing, but if you guys could go ahead and do your own research, you will be able to spot that there are hidden gems in the DeFi space that is currently paying out. All right. So I have another question of my own. How important would you guys say it is for capital to come into the system? Like, since you guys explained that this, you guys are aiming for it to be a Ponzi-less setup, right? How important do you think fresh capital coming into the system is going to play?
Fresh capital is always good, but the main aim was to prove that we could actually change DeFi.
Yeah.
And if no other capital comes in, we could still prove that we can change DeFi. Extra capital would only increase extra interest into the circles. So even if nobody took any notice and just decided that they wanted to watch us, which is entirely everyone's choice, please, if you're still unsure, just jump into Fortune on this Telegram and just watch for 90 days, watch for 150 days, watch for 200 days, and then decide what you want to do. We don't force anyone to invest. It is your choice and your choice alone. And the project's built on changing DeFi, and there's many projects that have followed us. You've got Smart Cash Capital, you've got D-Mountain, that's coming out with the BUSD one, with the Treasury Fund. Now they're doing their own little take on it. And it's starting to spread around. It's really making a difference in DeFi space.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
just to add to that, then the importance of fresh capital on this early stage of the farm is you have to think it like a race. We are in a race in the farm. We have 50% of every deposit that goes into the zero pools. We are at 190 BNB deposited, so half of that is in the pools, and it's earning interesting. By itself, it's growing, and the more money comes in, the more funds, the more BNB comes in this early stage, the faster that bag that's earning in the pools will grow, and more safely we can say we managed to get 100% Ponzi free, because this bag has grown by X amount. It's over for the 400% that we need to pay in 200 days. So this is completely safe as of this moment, and that's the importance of the fresh capital on this early stage of the farm. More funds, more people joining in right now will only make the farm be more secure for everyone and more successful, faster, and more sooner we'll be able to say this is free of Ponzi. That's the importance of fresh capital right now. Not to pay people, but to grant the project security and everyone in it, and to be able to say without a doubt, this is free of Ponzi.
That is like well said, bro. Like, bravo for that, man. Yeah, I think it's cool. It is going to be a team effort at the end of the day. But even as an individual, like, if you're thinking about investing into this, and if you caught up with them making that decision, the more capital invested, basically how he said it, more capital that's invested, the more sustainable the project is going to become. And that's what we got going for us. Right now, we're still in the early phases. We got 193 BNB invested. So that's pretty cool. That's a lot. Starting off, right? This project came out not too long ago. So I think we're off to a good start. So before we close out, any last questions? Anybody want to jump on the mic and share their piece or not?
Yeah, if you don't mind, I'd just like to clarify one thing. Sorry, Darkside. I just want to clarify because if you go on Epoch and other places, you see 50% has a fee or has a tax tagged on, and that's not real because you have to look at as tokenomics, not as a tax. If you deposit one BNB, you will be earning 2% every day over the entirety of your deposit. If you deposit one, that's 2% over one. If you deposit 10, that will be 2% every day over 10 BNB. What happens is when you deposit one BNB, 50% half the BNB will go to the syrup pools, 8% is taken as a support fee to feed into Alpha Fortune, Keiko Fortune, USDT cash flow, and the BUSD machine V3. Also, 3% from those 8% are going into marketing, and 3% are going to pay for the team. The team is made up of 8 people, so that's 3% divided by 8 people. That's the payment the team gets. 3% divided by 8 people.
Nice.
And the only tax that really exists in the farm of fortune is when you claim you pay 3% tax, those 3% go back into the contract TVL. So again, this has only 3% tax. When you look at many other projects out there, they feed you 10% tax on deposit, 10% tax on compoundings of 5%, whatever, and then you pay additional 10% when claiming and 5% or whatever, 15. It's full of taxes and fees and etc. And here we only have 3% tax, and what happens is not taxed on the deposit. It's rather a split that happens on the deposit, but that does not affect you as an investor because you receive interest for your deposit complete.
Yeah. That's a very valid point. I almost forgot to ask about the tax system. That's great. So only 3% tax on entry, but your ROI is gonna far exceed that anyway. So that's the setup. Anything else? Anybody in the chat? Anybody want to ask a question? Okay.
I haven't got a question, but I recommend everyone here that is even vaguely thinking about jumping in is to read and reread Nelson's articles and his simulations multiple times. I'm very lucky. He's a good friend of mine, so I managed to pick his brain the other day. And once you get your head around what is possible when you treat this project as it is, like a farm, and by a farm, if you think about a real farm, what happens? You grow your seed, you put your seed in the ground, and you grow your seed, and then you harvest that seed, and then you're going to plant more seed. But you have to put stuff in the ground. You can't just keep drawing it. Once the harvest is done, you've got to kind of refertilize the ground. Yeah. Otherwise, the ground will be dead of nutrients, right?
Yeah.
And so if you look at the simulations and the strategy that Nelson's come up with, it's truly mind-blowing. And it's, for me, I see it as potential key to a passive income. Not like, oh, we hit the treasure and, it's like we got this big diamond and we can go and sell the diamond. It's about creating an income, a sustainable income that you can pay yourself with wave after wave after wave and reinvest, and then pay yourself again and again, then reinvest. And there is a cyclical nature to it that for me I see is absolutely the game-changing critical element to educating. And I don't mean that in a patronising way. It's like empowering and informing all the investors, all the people that are in the Fortune Hunters family, to just see how incredible this thing can be by not just like raping the soil, not by like taking everything out of the soil, but by putting something back in.
Yeah.
You know, because like I just said, if you had a farm, you know, you got this piece of land, and you put your crops and you take the crops out, and you're like, you try and plant more seed in, but the soil is like, give me something here. You've not given me water. You haven't given me the nutrients I need. So you have to plow that back in.
Yeah.
You know, to create this cycle of payment, which then allows us to take, like, what we all want. We want an income, a passive income.
Yeah.
And that means, you know, taking stuff on a regular basis, not just like compound, and then just rinsing it all and then move on to that's like a parasite behavior. You know what I'm saying? So it's about training ourselves, and I speak for myself as well. It's training ourselves to move from that parasitic kind of like vampire, drain everything, and then move on to find the next host, the next DeFi host. It's like, no, this is our plot, this is our land. We're gonna feed the land, then we're gonna harvest, then we're gonna feed the land more, and then harvest. Okay, I'm out. I'm talking ramble.
Nah, you good, bro. Bravo, man. You reap what you sow. You reap what you sow. So yeah, you don't expect anything if you don't try it out for yourself, for sure. You know, and not to build on top of what you're saying, based on a parasitic atmosphere, I 100% agree with that. I've witnessed this. I mean, in the past few months, man, projects came and went. So much so, if you guys notice, I slowed down with just covering projects, right? I had to slow down just covering every single project that came out, because I truly don't believe every project that comes out is out for the investor's best interest. This is why I always promoted you guys, you know what I'm saying? And I need more people. If you're watching, if you're following, you're tuning in right now, I need you guys to pay attention to this dev team a little bit more, because they've been working on making gradual steps to make sure that everybody come out on top. All right. So this is why, you know, I'm definitely a fan of this team. Yeah, you're 100% correct, man. We got to stop being parasitic, trying to get, I mean, at a certain point, especially as a YouTuber, you have to feel kind of guilty, right? When you promote a project and then this thing, you know, the project essentially drains, or it has a high referral bonus. You can clearly see the referral bonus on the screen. It's just an unfair bonus, you know what I'm saying? And then you're trying to promote it and push it out. Unfortunately, there are a lot of whales who do not mind exploiting the little people. They say they got terms like DeFi's or solo sports, stuff like that. I think that's very dangerous, because we end up destroying the space for ourselves, right? You know, so to me, I think it's very smart for us to be responsible and take care of all investors. And yeah, once you can tap in to it being a fully like a Ponzi list setup, man, I think that would be great. So, you know, I'm pretty sure a lot of people is looking forward to that day to come. All right, guys, that's enough of my spill. I think we did well when it came to this AMA. We covered most of the subjects, and they even built on top of more. Wait, let me see. Okay, cool. So we build on top of the setup. Most of the things that people are worried about in the DeFi space, I believe, has been answered in this particular AMA. Do your own research. We're not forcing you to do anything. All right. I know me personally, I'm going to be jumping on board. But do your own research. Okay. Just understand the intentions of this team. They're going for a self-sustaining setup. All right. Keep that in mind if you're tuning in. All right, guys. So without further ado, I'm about to close the chat. Oh, Crypto Craig, you have something to say?
Yeah, can you choose 5 people from your chat as well? We're going to give a 50 BUSD giveaway, so 5 people for 10 BUSD each.
Oh, okay, that's perfect. 5 people from the chat. I get to pick?
Yeah, you can pick, yeah.
Okay, all right. All right, let's see. Let's do this.
I just wanted to sorry, you can go ahead, Patrick.
No, actually, I wanted to give back as well 50 BUSD on this AMA. So if you can actually do 10 people, so then that would be great.
Oh, wow. Hey, perfect. I like what it's turning into. So, all right, let's look at some new people.
Let's have the people here. So, to have the people in your voice chat are going to be gaining a prize for being here. And I just wanted to add what you said, Shrine, about the way things are. That's kind of what brought me to Craig, because we need to start thinking a bit outside of what the crypto space is becoming. And if we want people to get in crypto, get in DeFi, we need to start changing things, and we need to start showing people that this is not a place to come and get rich overnight. It's a place where you can come and gradually build something out and make passive income for real, not just a moonshot, looking for a moonshot that many people promise and never get. And that's, you said it perfectly. You have to stop promoting stuff because you were feeling that it was being harmful for you and for your community. And that's exactly what we want. We want to build something where people can find a safe haven and not expecting to get rich in 200 days, because if you put one BNB in, you never reinvest anything, you're going to exit the farm with 3.88 BNB. That's not much. That's 2% per day. In crypto space, that's nothing. We have projects offering 5, 10% per day, and those projects gain more attention than fortune hunters. But if you start to look at what really is doable, you'll see that 2% per day for a very long time, it's magic. And if you reinvest a portion of those 2% that you're earning back into the project continuously, grow your bag, like Darkside said, grow your crops, grow your farms, you will get to a point where you can take 5 BNB every week, starting with 2, 3 BNB. You can go to 5, whatever the aim you feel comfortable setting up. You can build it up gradually over time. That's what DeFi is about, not about getting today in a project and leaving tomorrow with 10 times more than you got in.
Yeah.
That's possible in DeFi, but that's getting harder and harder every time because it's not doable, and people are losing more and more money every time, and people are getting away from the space, and we want to bring people back into the space, gain their confidence to go and look at crypto and get into crypto.
Yeah. Yeah, hey, I couldn't say any better than that, man. You know, you guys got it, yo. So, all right, let's go with the giveaway. Let's see here. So let's start with the questions. I think Ox Hamid was the first one to ask a question, so he gets one giveaway right there. We have, who else do we have here? We have Sergio. Sergio gets one. So we got Ox Hamid, we got Sergio. Okay, Rivera, Jesse Rivera, you get a giveaway. David Gorgian, I cannot pronounce that. I'm sorry, man. But David, you get a giveaway. Marky Crypto, you get a giveaway. Who else we have here? Siki, you get a giveaway. Let's see here. Let's scroll up. We're 6 people in. Let me scroll up. Who do we have in this chat here? I can't do a giveaway to Nelson. I can't. Havel House, you get a giveaway. New member Kramer, you get a giveaway. Who else? Nick Folger, if you're watching this video, you get a giveaway. And one more. Where we at here? One more. Okay, well, I think that's about it, man. I think that's about it. So giveaway for 9 people with the BUSD. For the giveaway, go ahead and in the chat, or you can private DM me. Just send your wallet address, and I will pass the code along to the dev team. Guys, I think this has been a good AMA. I think we covered a lot of important stuff. And this is it's good for you guys to get to know the actual dev team that's behind the projects. All right. So if this is your first time, you guys are being introduced to this team. You know, we definitely embrace you. I'm not a part of the team. I'm just a YouTuber. But like I said, I've been working with these guys in the background, just communicating. And to me, out of everybody that I know so far in this DeFi space, this is personally my most trusted team. All right. So ever since the cross-farmer projects all the way up to this point right now, I decided to stick with these people here. They do great jobs. All right, guys. So thank you for tuning in. I'm about to close this chat. Like I said, guys, just reach out to me, private DM, send me your wallet address if I mention your name in the video. And that should be it, guys. All right. So thank you. Peace out and stay blessed.